hive cluster is under attack.
Live for the swarm.
Hey there, StarCraft fans! It's Falcon Paladin coming at you with yet another edition of StarCraft Brood War Remastered. Today, gonna be a ZVT on Circuit Breakers featuring C and Killer, bottom left. It's our guy Killer, and in the top right it is C. C's a really good Terran player, man. Haven't cast a game from him for a while, and Killer is an excellent Zerg player who had a bit of a losing streak on Protoss on my channel, but he won a Protoss versus Zerg match, so he is back in the good graces of Falcon. Okay, so it's going to be a ZVT, not a Protoss in sight here today. Alright, so this is an RJB replay sent to me over Discord, which means it was specially selected from all of the replays that RJB has as one worthy of casting on this channel. Check them out at RJB StarCrafts. Well, RJB StarCraft on YouTube. I think it is youtube.com/RJBTV. I think you got that URL, at least the last time I checked last Sunday. Or the Sunday before last. Anywho, what is going on? Hope everybody is having an amazing day. And Falcon posted a StarCraft video, so it is amazing by default. It's gonna go down from here. So, not SCB scouting, Terry the Overlord scouting. Yes, I know you hate the cold and the darkness and all of the artificial stuff here on Circuit Breakers. It is a space platform after all. So we're going to go 11 hatch here. Ka-chow. Drone scouting, drone checking to make sure we're not being proxied. We are not. That's for certain. And is this a command? Oh, a command center first play. Oh, here from C. What a boss. Dude, command center first against a Zerg player on a 4-player map. If you get early pulled, you're just dead, man. But he's like, you know what? This is Killer. The current, the current meta here in StarCraft these days is basically macro, right? Sure, we do see some crazy openings from time to time. For the most part, the safest thing to do is go for the macro play. You can defend against most cheeses if you see it coming, and even if you don't, you still have a chance to beat it. So yeah, for a lot of these players, it's just like, sure, we'll just go for the regular old opening here. And then C says I'm going to take advantage of that and go for the Nexus first, which this drone sees. No, he's just blind scouting, and he goes, wait, what? Well, I gotta force another SCV off the line, don't I? Yeah. Actually, this SCV is fighting his own battle, because he's good at fighting his own battles. He hits hard, and he's got a lot of HP. He's got more HP than the drone does, right? Yeah, 40 compared to a full 60 here. So, yep, that helps a lot, it turns out, in these battles. But, oh, the drone went home. It's a 2 racks opener here. Well, not an opener, right? It's 2 racks after command center first. So this is tough. This is tough for the Zerg, because it's like, okay, I'm getting a macro hatch here, which we've learned. We learned that fairly recently, and I feel dumb for not knowing it sooner, but usually the macro hatch indicates that we're going to go for a lot of mutas, okay, because you need the larva, right? If you're going for a spire timing where you want to make 9 mutas at the same time, you don't have enough larva. If you only have 2 hatches, you need the 3rd one for that. So this indicates to me it's going to be a lot of mutalisks. Killer just playing this kind of normal, man. This is actually kind of a direct counter to this whole 2-base muta stuff too, isn't it? It is. Because, like, the Zerg player really doesn't want to link flood you. The Zerg player doesn't want to get a 3rd base because he can't really defend it until he's got mutas out or until he's got lurkers out. And he delays his speed, so Lings can't do much of anything. They did just kill an SCV, though. That was pretty good. Nice job, boys! Way to go! And the Terran player can get an engineering bay out and turrets up whenever he wants. It's not like him going for a command center first delays his ability to get turrets up at the regular time. It doesn't. In fact, it helps him maybe get up more turrets because he's got more SCVs and he's got more income right now. It's 27 to 22 workers. A simple bunker at the front's all you really need here. So yeah, this is Killer. He's like, well, I'm gonna do the same thing, I guess. I'm gonna go for the Mutalisk. Get that Spire down now. Gas income says, no, you're not doing that because you don't have enough gas for a Spire yet. Huh. Killer might just be kind of messing this up a little bit. Just a thought. No, he is getting a spire. Where is it? God, I'm so blind. Oh, it's over here. It's kind of a weird place for it. I feel like if you get dropped, your spire dies instantly. But hey, there is a spire coming in. I was like, dang, Killer, you're really falling apart today, aren't you, buddy? And Killer's like, dude, you're just blind. It's like, yep, that's fair. That's a fair critique. I'm sure somebody in the comments is going to have something to say about that. Production tabs, there's a spire too. You should look up there more often, Falcon. So yeah, like I said, right? We're going to have enough gas because the second gas was taken super duper early. This is not a small commitment to gas. And this is a lot of lings. This is going to be a bunch of lings and a bunch of mutos. They're going to try to kill C here. And if they can do it, great, they win. If they can't do it and they can't do a bunch of damage, then they just straight up lose. Because it's 2 base to 2 base. And Zerg players do not like being on 2 base versus a 2 basing Terran. Now, if this was Soma, and Soma has the special magical ability to do wonderful, incredible things with Mutalisks that no one else really seems to be able to do, then yeah, maybe, and there you go. 8 mutas. Not quite enough gas for that 9th one, but that's okay. You're close. There you go. There's the 9th one. Bam, bam, bam. Wham, bam. Mutas on the way. I do feel like I should have figured that out a long time ago, but we got there, and that's what matters. We all are learning new stuff every day, right? I am. And I'm almost 40, so how's that? Good chunk. Third base gets tossed down, right? Neat. So now there's mutas out, and there's lings out, and this group goes for that third base. He can do something to defend it, so that's why he's taking it now. If he took it earlier, I don't know, like 6 to 8 Marines just kind of walk across the map and win. So, yep, here come the Mutalisks. They are doing awesome. There's another one on the way. There's also a Hydralisk den. But like I said, the Muta timing is the same, so C knows when to make turrets, and he's fine. Behold, 3 turrets and a mineral line. And the Mutas are like, ah, yes, of course, my old nemesis. 3 turrets and a mineral line. And this group's like, are we gonna... Ah, what was this medic doing over here? Stay with your buddies. Man, I gotta learn the lessons from elementary school. When you're on a field trip, gotta stay with your buddy, man. This is some really nice Muta micro, though. Great stacking, good control. He's getting hits off. Like, a lot of the time we'll see Zerg players who try this and an attack doesn't happen when they want it to because their timing's just a little bit off. This is a really high skill thing to do. Difficult to pull, but anybody who is at this level of StarCraft knows how to do it. Any Zerg player does. Queen's Nest coming in too. Loving that. Loving that play. Fast. Fast Hive Tech. Because he's like, this is a lot of Marines, man. You know what's really good against Marines? Hive Tech. Adrenal's amazing. Ultras are really good too. And even getting Ensnare out isn't terrible. Which is a Queen's Nest thing. It's not a Hive thing, but it's close enough to be a Hive thing, I think. So, jumping on it. I guess that's what we're doing here, boys. We're jumping right on it and wiping it out entirely. Okay, so Killer needed that. He needed that bad because he's down 10 workers. He was at 2 base to 2 base for way too long. But now look, his third base is getting saturated. He's getting up to Hive Tech. He just completely reset the Marine count for C. Well, he's got he's got 4 barracks. You can only completely reset the Marine count so long. Muta count down to 9? 9? Counting is hard. It's real hard for me sometimes. Double starport, pretty standard stuff here. Going for them science vessels. Because again, there's nothing the Zerg player can do where you say, boy, I wish I hadn't made these science vessels. What a complete waste of resources. No, never. It's always good. It is always, always, always good. Science Vessel, incredible unit. Same thing with the Defilers, honestly. Especially in this matchup. You're like, man, I wish I had spent these resources on something besides Defilers. Nope. You never have that feeling. Unless, I guess, you get attacked before the Defilers have any energy and consume is done. And then you're like, I should have made some other units rather than Defilers. Maybe I could have survived that attack, right? But it's a tiny, tiny window. I guess same thing goes with the Science Vessels, sort of, too. Because they come out with not enough energy for anything, too. So, we're going to go Hydra, Lurker, Ling here. Good job, good micro, good pulling out of the range of that Lurker. That was pretty nice by C. Now he's a little contained, right? Taking a third base is going to be a little more difficult. Lurkers containing you on this bridge is a problem. You can expand here pretty easily. And since you're going for an 8 racks play anyway, I mean, taking this base isn't really all that much of a shame, right? 5th racks is already up. Marines have got themselves +1 attack. The Lurkers are at no upgrades. The Mutas are at no upgrades. And the Lings are at no upgrades. So we're working on it, okay? We're getting Ground Carapace and Adrenal. The Defiler round's on the way at 10 minutes, which is pretty zippy. Pretty zippity zoppity. So he must be feeling this. He's like, okay. Let's go. Let's move across the map and see what we can do. Sure, last time I did this, everything I had got completely obliterated. That is true. And then he pulls back. Was that just a feint? He's like, hey, you, make things other than drones for a minute. And Killer was like, okay, I'll make some Lurkers and Lings. And then C was like, psych! We're leaving, bye! Macro hatch, Nidus Canal, connecting bottom left to top left. Hot stuff here, going for some static defense. I can always agree with going for some static defense. It seems to be something that Zerg players are willing to do against Protoss and less often willing to do against Terran, unless it's against this very specific attack, right, or you want the 3 Sunkens at the front here. But if that doesn't materialize, a lot of the time Zerg players are like, well, you can't win a game with static defense. I mean, that's kind of true. It's a fine balance, right? If you spend too many resources on static defense, especially as a Zerg, and you sacrifice too many drones, then the Terran just sits back, it takes 8 bases, and you die. But if you don't have any, it can be really tough to pull that off, too. Stacked Lurkers, what? Okay, wow! He just sacked, I think, all of his Mutas and Scourge to kill that one, well, those 2 Science Vessels, which, you know, it kept this base safe for a while, but holy smokes, he donated those Mutas hard. He kept 1 back here because he's like, I'm going to be plaguing some Science Vessels later. I need you for that, Mr. Mutalisk. So you stay right there and don't die. You're in a position to die, though. I'm worried about that. Lurkers. Was that a Lurker trap? Feels like it could have been. I don't know. Plague's getting researched. Consume's already done. The Dark Swarm is upon you, see. Here at 12 minutes, man. What are you going to be able to do about that? Well, you're making Marines. Yeah. And Science Vessels, yeah, that's pretty good too. But man, losing those first 2 ones, what you really want to have is a bunch of Science Vessels, right? The games where this strategy looks completely overpowered, and it's usually when Flash is doing it, he's got about 16 Science Vessels just kind of like cruising around. And none of them have died. And it's just like, he does such a good job. Such a good job babysitting those Science Vessels just over and over and over again against Scourge attacks and Muta attacks. And even Hydras that maybe try to jump in there and take them down too. The fact that they can fly makes them eminently better than like 80% of every other spellcaster in the world, man, in this game. Flying spellcasters are so good, except for Queens, who actually kind of suck. Go figure. If they had better spells, they'd be amazing, because they can fly like Science Vessels do. And Snare's good, it's just not as good as Dark Swarm, right, and Plague. That's the thing. That's the thing about a lot of StarCraft units and abilities. It's not that they're bad necessarily, it's just there's other better stuff to spend your money on. It's a hierarchy problem. So, gonna unload in Sunken Town. Unload behind Sunken Town, where Sunkens can't do anything. This is where the Nidus needs to come in. And Plague-oo! Sick Plague, man. And this Hydra's like, I'll kill. Oh, now they're attacking into a Sunken when they've been plagued? Okay, so all these Marines are dead. Like, not even close. Dude, Killer is playing very well. Scourge. Oh, because it was plagued. The Scourge damage went through the defensive matrix and killed the rest of the shuttle. That's amazing. Of the shuttle. Of the dropship. Brain fart. A beautiful Plague again. Lings run out of the Dark Swarm and die anyway. Neat stuff. Bit of an engagement here in the middle of the map. It's Ling Dark Swarm stuff, man. Dude, Killer's putting some work in right now. He's doing great. He's doing fine. He's at 56 total workers at the moment. He's got 4 bases rolling. The Terran did take his 3rd right here. The Scourge want that Science Vessel so bad, but they're not going to get it. And I lied. They totally got it because the Marines were distracted by the incoming Zerglings. And the prior... Well, some of them had been plagued, but not everybody, apparently. Maybe the healing happened, too. This Lurker's got 10... Oh, my gosh. 10 kills. This middle of the map Dark Swarm stuff is really sick from Killer. I should pay more attention to this. That's not very common. It's not very common to Dark Swarm in the middle of the map. Sure, you can send some Lings around and catch reinforcing units that way, but to Dark Swarm Lurker in the middle of the map is kind of a sick move. Fourth base done for C. Right side, 3 o'clock position, looking good. Ultralisk Cavern on the way. It wasn't like the first thing he did, because the first thing he did was get a Defiler Mound when he had ye old aforementioned Hive Tech. Firebat's in the mix. Okay. Firebat's doing some work there. Defiler dies too. It's 130 to 114 supply. C is up. C is looking good. Killer playing very well too, though. This is some very high-level StarCraft here. Hit that like button if you haven't already. Leave me a comment. I read every comment anyone ever makes on any of my videos. You should know that by now. Some people still don't believe me. All right, so trying to come... Yeah, there's the Dark Swarm. And again, Dark Swarms in the middle of the map are... They're zoning tools, but they're not incredible. The flank, though... is he just going to win this without Dark Swarm? Dude, Adrenal is a good spell. It's really, really good. It's not a spell, it's an upgrade, but you know what I meant. It's basically a spell. So it's like, I guess Stim is a spell. What's another upgrade that you don't have to cast? Like a passive upgrade that's as good as Adrenal is. Speed for Zealots is probably your closest bet. Or like Range for Dragoons is another one. I don't know. Would I call that a spell? Zealot leg enhancements? Maybe. Lurkers irradiated. Try and do what they can before they die, and not much. Not much. Irradiate is a pretty quick death sentence that way. So I read another Warhammer book, Warhammer 40k book, the other day at the behest of my podcast co-caster, Somicron, which you can check that out on YouTube, actually. If you search Falcon Paladin Hour on YouTube, you'll find it. Kind of fun stuff we do every week, except we didn't do it last week. Anyway, it's good. I'm learning a lot about Warhammer. I've always been kind of interested in Warhammer, but I never wanted to really super get into Warhammer because it's a lot. Nice. No connections on those Scourge. No connections on that Scourge either. Dude, 173 to 135 supply. C's getting big all of a sudden. There is a Lurker attack at the third base, though. Ling's Dark Swarm causing problems over there. But this attack into the fourth base is getting rebuffed by the Zerg player. He's winning at the third, and he's winning at his fourth, too. It sure seems like it. As another Science Vessel goes down. I feel like that's the first one since those first two went down. So, like, third total. Dude, these Lings, though. Dude, the medics are, like, healing as well as they can sometimes. It's not enough. Anyway, yeah, it's a Warhammer book that generally deals with, like, the Plague Father. Like, the utterly disgusting enemies of the Empire. Anyway, it's good. It's called The Plague War, I believe is the book that I read. It's the second one in a trilogy. Pretty good stuff. All right, where are we? 165 to 149 supply in favor of C and this base. You know what? It's easier to take this base against a Terran who's not going mech. Because tanks just come over here and go, blah, your base is dead. But if it's just Marines, which it certainly is, it's easier to deal with. And every Terran player who's watching this game right now says, switch to mech, you idiot. Dang it, C, what are you doing? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 racks. Okay. It's a 9 racks play. He's not implementing vultures at all. We talked about that a lot recently, where just making one factory, you have one anyway. Researching spider mines and making vultures just kind of constantly one at a time. Oh, space is toast. Dude, this is amazing stuff out of Killer. He's looking amazing. And then just implementing some spider mine laying and some vulture play into your 8 racks. But no, says C. Mech units are for scrubs. I'm just making Marines and medics and science vessels today, and you can't stop me. And yeah, it's true. Accurate statement. But you just lost your third and, okay, and your fourth is dead. So yeah, so that's your GG. This was some really great play from Killer. I thought C was going to win this game when he got away with the command center first play, but then so many Marines have died. So many SCVs have also died. And sure, if there's no Dark Swarm and no Plague, this is an unbeatable strategy as Terran. But like, you're C. You're playing against Killer. He's going to do those things. He's going to Dark Swarm. He's going to Plague all over the place. His units are pretty strong regardless. Okay, the Hiders don't have any attack upgrades, but still. Lings are at 2-3, working on 3-3 here. The Ultras Got that chitinous plate. Okay, chitinous plating. Yeah, man. C's just dead. Unless this attack can kill the 4th base and the 3rd base of Killer, this game's over. And he's really not making nice plague. He's just not making any progress here at all. All right. Okay. Another science vessel down. What I've noticed is that C isn't really irradiating... Another science vessel down. Irradiating ultras all that much. Mostly irradiating defilers, which is fine. Defilers are going down, and the lurkers are going down. This attack is just crushed. That's it. It's 147 to 129 supply. Oh, C's like, dude, shut up. I irradiate ultralisks all the time. Yeah, that's fair. That's a fair point, sir. These lings run into a meat grinder. I don't know what they're trying to do. This one Ultra was doing very poorly until the Dark Swarm came. And then he's doing awesome. Dude, is C kind of making a comeback here? His 3rd base is up and running. His 4th base is landed because that's the thing when your opponent's making things that don't shoot up. Lifting your command center is a really good strategy. Like, really useful. Another Dark Swarm. Another retreat. Another plague. Like, this is, we're just running the same beats here over and over, man. But C taps out. He's like, yeah, okay, GG. I can't handle this. It's my fault. I probably should have made some tanks and some spider mines. That would have helped a lot. Actually, I'm curious to see if there was an attack I missed because it seemed a little abrupt for a GG. I don't think his position was appreciably worse there than it was like for the last 5 minutes. So hit that like button if you enjoyed that game. Zerg players are happy about it for sure. What are these drones doing? I don't know. Those drones died and these lings died. Yada, 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 yada. Yada, yada, yada. Yeah, you can hit the subscribe button too. I'm here 6 days a week with Brood War content, which is just like... It's a lot of Brood War content, man. What else would you want from me? Actually, there's more things you do want from me, I'm sure. So look, it's 133 to 123 supply. As a Terran, you probably want to have more stuff than the Zerg player because of the Ultras and the Dark Swarm and the Plague and stuff. So we see this. This all happens. It's really, you know, pretty well executed by Killer here. Gets good Dark Swarms up as usual. Gets some nice Plagues up. He's just been spellcasting like a beast and a monster today. The Ultras pull back inside the Dark Swarm and they realize they're not going to win that fight. There's nothing attacking here, there's nothing attacking here, and there's nothing attacking here. Yeah, so C's just like, well, I can't run forever, and then he just decides to tap out. So, So really fantastic. Like some of the best plaguing and dark swarming I've seen in a while, it feels like, on the channel. Just constant plagues, constant dark swarms. This attack was definitely fated to do more stuff by C. It was 2 full dropships, Marines were in there, medics were in there, and then the Defiler just wanders up, goes, plague, and that drops like, ah, I see, we are going to fail. So no bases die for the Zerg player, hardly really any attacks on his drone count at all, which is utterly problematic. He even took the 6 o'clock base, I didn't notice. He took the 9 o'clock and the 6 o'clock, what a beast. He might have just taken this one, I don't know. But don't try till you know. So yeah, it's a trend, isn't it? It's another trend where it's really hard for Terran players to beat elite Zerg players in 2022 when it comes down to 9 racks and 8 rack stuff, right? Yeah, I think adding in the Spire Mines would have done a world of good for C in this game. Obviously going mech would have done a world of good for him too, because Zerg players just seem to struggle immensely with that. But anyway, GG, nevertheless, Killer is your winner. And yeah, score 164,000 to 144,000 in favor of the Zerg. Seems fair, outproduced the Terran by 6-to-4 ratio and got outkilled, but only by a little bit. There's your math, folks. And then resources, telling us the story here too. 51,000 resources spent for Killer and 39,000 for C, which is a little problematic considering he went for a command center first opening, man. Oh, that's amazing. Absolutely incredible. Just an incredibly fantastic play there from Killer. Look, C's a good Terran. He's not light, right? He's not last. He's not some of these other incredible Terran players that are running around right now, but he's really good, and Killer just kind of made him look silly out there. So, yeah, GG there for Killer. Fantastically well-executed game. You'll get him next time, C, and that's going to be it from me. So this has been Falcon Paladin coming at you with yet another edition of StarCraft 2, StarCraft Brood War Remastered. Go ahead, hit that like button, hit that subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, and Twitch, all at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.